I'm gonna start the episode without you. So, hey, Dan just left because he had stuff to do. So I'm gonna have a conversational episode of Unsolicited by myself. Hi, I'm Ed, and I'm also Ed. Welcome to Unsolicited, the show where we take an advice column from the past and we read it, and we rate the question, then we read the answer, we rate the answer, then we offer the worst advice possible in that situation. I used to have a partner, but he farted himself to death. No, he didn't. He's just coming. I don't know. No, I don't know what to say. I can't read. I'm not gonna read nothing. Oh, hey, he's come back. Don't say anything.
Unsolicited advice. Unsolicited advice. You know it's good to share problems. I rip straight from the public forums. Unsolicited advice.
Today we are doing Dan Savage from, looks like I'm in 2012. I've been scrolling down through these and now I've got to 2012. This is called Positive Reinforcement. All right. I'm a single gay male in my late 20s. I met a guy I really like. We chat all the time. We're attracted to each other. We haven't yet been sexually active with each other, but we're planning to get naked and sweaty and break out the ropes and blindfolds over Christmas break. Why do we have a date sex? Well, because he lives 6 hours away, and that's when he's coming to visit. Here's the problem. He happens to be HIV positive. Before you start yelling at me if you're calling his status a problem, let me elaborate. The problem isn't that he's HIV positive per se. The problem is with me. I've had sex with guys in the past, but the whole thing is I didn't know it at the time. I've always been safe and sensible, yada, yada, yada. My last HIV test 2 months ago came back negative. So while I know the risk is no greater with this new guy than it was with any of the pos guys I've slept with before, I'm still nervous, not sure how I'll react emotionally when we bed together. So here's my question, Dan. Is it fair to him to warn him I might feel a little nervous having sex with him despite the fact that he's smoking hot and we really want to fuck each other's brains out? I feel like HIV isn't supposed to be a deal breaker, and he's got it and can't change that fact, and I'd feel guilty putting another burden on him to form my own insecurities about it. What should I do?
This one was called what? Patient?
Positive reinforcement.
Oh, positive reinforcement. Oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit flippant. I'm going with a 4 on the question. I mean, it's fine. I think he's probably genuinely curious, and he's probably got like this weird thing. He's like, I've had sex with pos guys before, but this, I know about it, and it's freaking me out. Like, I get that's a real question, but I feel like he's a bit flippant about it. And
I kind of see what you're saying there.
It's fine that he can have sex with a dude. I mean, do whatever you got to do. It's not,
almost like he's like, all right, Dan, see what you got for me on this advice. Like this is so
like he's different. He's trying to.
I'm in a unique situation.
Yeah, fine. It is probably slightly unique, but I still don't like it. I don't like the question.
Don't like the question.
What do you got?
4. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I was gonna say 5, but no.
Give it a 5, man.
Yeah, I still didn't really. I'm still not even like halfway. I'm like, am I right in the middle with this? No, I'm in more 4. Kind of.
Okay.
Same round with what you're saying.
4 and a 5, 9. Unless HIV has been found to burn fat calories, repair damaged split ends, and acts as a natural male enhancement since the last time I googled the virus, your friend's HIV status is a problem. While HIV infection might not be the fatal illness it once was, so long as you have access to life-saving drugs, of course, it's still no fucking picnic. It's better to be neg than it is to be pos, and that's a fact, not a thought crime. Presumably, you're aware of this guy's HIV status in advance of his visit because he had the decency and the courage to disclose the status to you. The decent and courageous thing for you to do now is disclose your nervousness to him. Before you break out the ropes and condoms, he needs to acknowledge the risks you're taking on when you sleep with him, and all he can do to minimize those risks. Ask him if he's been treated, inquire about his viral load, impress on him in a good-natured, matter-of-fact way that you desire to remain negative, emphasize the importance of condoms, and tell him that you apologize in advance if nerves get the better of you the first time. And if you don't know this guy well, I'd leave the bondage and blindfolds off the menu until you've established a real sense of trust. And guess what, kiddo? You can't establish that kind of trust during your first face-to-face, ass-to-face, cock-to-ass visit. Okay, that's Dan Savage is a brilliant writer. And finally, you have to accept that you can get infected even if you do everything right. If you're going to have insertive sex with this man or any man whose HIV status you're unaware of, particularly if you plan to blow him without a condom or let him fuck you even with one, you can only minimize your risks, not eliminate them. Condoms break, condoms leak, rarely if they're used correctly, but it does happen. People get infected giving blowjobs, rarely again, but it does happen. You shouldn't sleep with him if you can't promise to do your best to keep negative. But you shouldn't sleep with him if you can't promise not to hold it against him if even after doing everything right, you wind up positive.
Everyone has AIDS! My grandma and my dog go blue! AIDS!
That's it. You know, 9. Going
Yeah,
straight
that
out.
that was a good one. Yeah.
It's a good answer, well
Good,
written.
solid advice. He wasn't being flippant or joking.
No,
with.
he took it seriously,
Yeah.
and he took the whole thing very seriously.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is like he even starts
Even
by
more
saying,
serious than what the guy was seemed to be taking his question. You know, right? in the
yeah,
question.
yeah, it is a big deal. Your friend's HIV status is a problem. It's almost like he's in the thing saying, this is no joke, man. This is like serious,
Yeah.
you know, like you're being a little.
Because in the guy's question, it was almost like he's like, well, you know, I'll give it a pass because the guy's so hot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because he's hot, you can't bother him. You know, with all these important issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great answer. He doesn't.
Great
He doesn't. I'm not giving it a 10 because it doesn't kind of get into. This guy's kind of a prick, and maybe he should
Yeah.
take things a little more seriously. He does a little bit, but not as far as I'd like him to take it. But I think it's a great answer. So the worst advice you can give.
All right. Hold on.
What's the
for a
worst
second.
advice you can give, Dan?
Hold on. I don't care right now. Can you just please go back to your room and go to? You know, I told you what I'm doing here. So please just go. Shut the door. Stay in your room. Go to sleep.
Dan's kicking his children. Dan's kicking his children out of the room before he has a deeper conversation about the worst possible gay sex advice he could give. That's probably a solid choice at that point. You're about to give really bad advice on how to deal with HIV positive gay sex, and your son is like, "What are you doing? What's going on? Yeah, maybe
on the iPad.
maybe put the earplugs in, kid." All right, what's your worst advice, man? What's your worst advice for this guy who's a little nervous?
A little bit nervous. First advice for him.
I'm going. If you don't do it, I'm
go ahead.
going.
Go ahead. The kids threw me off.
Go get yourself HIV positive before you meet him. Nerves gone, right? Like if you're worried because he's positive, I'm nervous about the whole thing, then you know, go out and have a bunch of unprotected sex with pos guys, hot pos guys. Let's throw that out there. You don't want to have pos sex with ugly dudes.
Right. Yeah.
So get yourself pos. Go there. Your nerves are gone. Everything's cool. Everything's kosher, man. You're good to go. You don't have the problem is the nerves, right?
Yeah. All
So,
right.
yeah, there you go. That's my worst
pretty
advice.
Good. That's pretty good.
What do you got?
You kind of touched on mine, which was he should just have sex with ugly people, and then he doesn't have to worry about telling them anything, because they're ugly and worthless.
That is not true. Ugly people have value as well, to make medium-looking people look more attractive.
Yeah, I guess that.
If
that
nothing,
is,
if
yeah,
nothing
if
else.
Nothing else. Yes. Yeah.
Good advice. It's not even close to as bad as mine.
No. Yours is.
I mean, my advice is much worse.
pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad advice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself the win in
Yeah.
this situation, unless you disagree.
No.
We can argue about it. Happy to argue with you. One of my favorite things to do, jerk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I guess that's us. I don't know what it scored. Oh, did you rate the answer?
Did I rate the answer?
You didn't rate the answer. What did you give the answer,
Oh
man?
no, I agreed. I thought it was a 9 too.
Oh, 9. So we get
Yeah.
2 4s and 2 9s.
Yeah.
It's an
Simple question.
average question. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in Books Unplugged. If you have worse advice and better advice, or you know, want to tell us to stop making a YouTube channel and go back to
It's good to share
something
problems.
else, please let us know.